But something else you'll notice is that when you hit the wood, or when you hit the thing and it fell to the floor, that, what's it called? The wood in the wall seemed to cave inwards. Like, as if it's not just dirt behind it.
Well, Stanley, let's keep exploring, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that was a little weird. You know, it's like must have fallen out of the rafters or something.
I mean, I don't know.
Several times.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. It hit me pretty hard.
I mean, yeah, it fell out. It bounced off of you.
You're making
Must have just freaked out. Maybe a ricochet or something.
It freaked out. Yes, the knife, I believe, did freak out, which is not normal for knives.
Suddenly, both of you feel a kind of chill starting to get into the room, and it seems to be coming from that small hole in the wood that was just made. And in your ears, both of you hear something slightly different whispering to you. One of them in Stanley's ear says, "Kowalski, Kowalski," and then in Harrison's ear he hears, "Little Harry."
I know my grand's not in there.
What do you mean? I don't hear no grams. I just got these things in my head. They don't go away. You know.
For what it's worth, it sounded very airy. It didn't necessarily sound like the people that you would associate saying those things to you. But it does sound like maybe wind is coming from that room, and it just so happens to sound like it's saying that to you.
I think I think we just need some fresh air here. Let's finish this ventilation project we got going up.
Wait, what? You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. It's maybe we just need some fresh air. Let's just open this up a little bit, get a little circulation going. Let's finish up this ventilation project, and I'll kick the rest of the way down.
Yeah, there's wood panels, right? That's what this is?
Yeah. So basically, imagine there's the wall, and there's a wood panel here, wood panel here, wood panel here, wood panel here, like 5 wood panels. But the one in the center where the knife was lodged into the wall is bent inwards, and there's like a hole. And if then you can examine it if you want.
I'd like to take either one of the wood panels from there, or from when the door was boarded up, and light it with my lighter and make a makeshift torch.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, you just do that.
Okay.
Don't burn out my house here. I mean, come on.
Let's try to be careful.
So, do you guys take down the rest of the wood panels, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I guess Stanley, roll a strength check, because this would be another thing for you to do.
No problem. I forgot my system here. What was it? D10. There we go. 44.
Alrighty. And that's underneath your strength, right?
By
strength,
almost 40.
Alrighty. So, when you're done with that, you'll notice there's just kind of like a big opening in the wall now. Like, it looks like a crawl space, actually. It's like, it's not exactly like a full door, but it is like maybe from here downwards, so you would have to crawl to get through it. But there is like a passageway that has been revealed by opening the wall.
Ain't quite in the shape I used to be no more. Area. How about you go? Hey, how about you go first, Harry? I'll follow you.
Going first is not my favorite. I'll poke the torch in and see how far down it goes.
You hold the torch in, and just a pack of rats come running out of this crawl space, just a flood of rats. Roll towards you guys. Roll a spot hidden, both of you, or dodge, not spot hidden.
Oh, well,
sorry. I was about to say, you see the rats. They're not hidden.
Oh, dodge is better.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 46.
I got 12.
Yeah, which is my dodge is 50, because dodge is
So Stanley gave
the
the rats enough room to escape. So even though Harrison didn't successfully get out of the way of the rats don't feel the need to fight you guys, because they see an avenue of escape. So they just weave between Harrison and Stanley and then just run up the stairs in a flood of hurried rats. Some of them end up falling through the little holes, and just rats just all trying to escape. But eventually they all end up getting out, and the scurrying of rats ends up stopping.
Is anything else?
I mean...
So
that's good. We got all the rats out of here. I mean, good for the house.
Perhaps still call the exterminator. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'll follow up a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Alrighty. So as you go back into the corridor, it's almost like a hidden hallway between two rooms. Like there's like the door here, and then there's like a big hallway, and then another crawl space door. But this one actually has a door with like a handle on it, sitting right across from you. And there's something in here really quick. Let me just see. Okay. As you use your torch to kind of look around in this weird little room, you can see carved very scratchily above that door in the crawl space, the Chapel of Contemplation.
Oh, this is that place they were talking about.
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna live here, I don't want no like some weird church burning in my house. Let's
cave it in.
Let's go check it out. I mean, try not to fall through the floor this time. That'd be. I mean, come on, yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know how much lower this place can go, but
I mean, yeah, I tell you what, yeah,
the sub basement.
Alrighty. So, does somebody open the door?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a tight fit for old Stan here. I'd like for you to leave, Harry. It's just, I ain't as good a shape as I used to be.
With the whole of the derringer and the torch and kind of one-arm it.
Alrighty. So you open up the door. Lying motionless and seemingly dead on a pallet in the center of the room is a drawn, wooden-looking, wizened figure of some 6 feet. Skinny and naked, with ghastly, wild, flaring, saucer-like eyes and a nose like a knife blade. Some sort of chain rests around his neck. He has lost all of his hair, and his shrunken gums make his teeth look very long. From him comes a sharp, sweet, charming scent, sort of like sweet brandy.
Let's sing along.
Let me see. The floor is earthen, and there is a table to the southwest corner with some curled papers on it. So there. Oh, and here's what you see. Let me get it up. Come on. I'm not going to send it in the Facebook chat. I'm just going to hold it up to the camera.
Oh.
Because then everybody can see.
You can do both.
Yeah. That's a picture of me. That's a picture of the church. Okay, here we go. Looks like this. So there's just like a huge, weird-looking corpse in the middle of the room. You see that?
I think I'm catching up now.
Oh, I was just gonna say watch on Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what it is in the middle of the room, and then there's a table in the corner of the room that has papers on it.
All right, well, let's look at the papers first. Seems to be our go-to, my go-to at least.
Alrighty. What about you, Stanley? What are you doing?
So that body's chained up?
It's not chained up. It's just laying on a pallet.
There's nothing else but the papers? Just
a dead body and papers. You know, the usual.
I'm gonna walk over and look at the body.
Alrighty. So, as Harrison is kind of looking through these papers on this desk, you walk closer to the body, and then all of a sudden behind you, you hear your ex-wife's voice saying, "Oh, Stanley, welcome home."
Barb?
Do you turn around?
Barb? Yeah?
Okay.
Well,
so you turn around.
It's more of like an over-the-shoulder, not like a full... Like a Barb?
You turn around, and it seems like, from what you can see kind of over your shoulder, the room is not necessarily what it was when you walked in.
Now I'll look around some more.
You do a full turn, and you find yourself in this dining room. It's not a dining room you've seen before, but it's got a very long table in it. And sitting at the very end of the room, like you're kind of positioned in a way where you're sitting at one end of the table, and then it's very long, and then sitting at the other end of the table is Barbara. And you have 2 kids, right? Your kids.
I have 2 kids.
Oh, I know you. Clarissa and Luther are
Clarissa
sitting.
and Luther. Yeah.
They're sitting on her flanks, so they're sitting there, and there's a big, like kind of one of those dinner plate things, sitting in between them. They're just like, "We're so happy you're home, Stanley. Why don't you take a seat and have dinner with us?" And the seat sitting directly in front of you just kind of slides on its own accord, inviting you in.
Yeah. I mean, there's gotta be another attack or something. You guys don't love me like this.
When you look up from rubbing your eyes, you'll notice you're in the seat. And they're also a little bit closer. It's almost like the table shrunk when you weren't looking. So they're sitting like maybe 2 seats down from you now. The kids are just staring at you. You'll notice none of them are blinking, but they're just staring at you. And Barbara isn't blinking either, and she has this, again, like, almost like there's a bug wearing her skin. Like, there's no seams missing or anything on her, but she just doesn't seem right. She seems like it's almost like somebody read your diary and tried to recreate something, but didn't necessarily get it nailed on. So she goes, "Come, why don't you have dinner with us? I cooked your favorite." And as she reaches down and she opens up the dinner plate, and it's just the heads of all the people that you were trapped under a truck with, just staring back at you. But all of them, it's not like it's just a pile of heads. It's like a pile of heads neatly stacked in a way where every single one of them can look at you, and all of them have dead eyes. Your 2 kids,
stiff leg Louie.
Yeah, your 2 kids now have dinnerware in their hands, like they didn't a second ago. But they now have set plates in front of them and dinner in front of them, and they start to like kind of dissect the heads in front of them and start eating it. And your wife's just like, "Aren't you hungry?"
I'm gonna say this. This is what took me away from you guys in the first. I'm gonna grab the plate of heads and I throw it at her.
As you do, you immediately snap back, but we're gonna have you roll for sanity damage because that definitely got to you.
Oh yeah. This one. Ooh, dropped one. Oh, I dropped it 3 times. Come on. I rolled a 60.
Okay,
so
is that under? You failed. Okay, so you take 5 points of sanity damage, because that was a really big, like, this is obviously scary situation, not necessarily, like, shrugged off as PTSD.
5.
Alrighty. So, Harrison, you're flipping through these papers.
Yes.
Let me see if they actually have them in here. This might be something you read later. So, let's see. Stuff about that. Okay. Yeah. You'll notice that it's just a leather-bound journal that says diary on it, and it sort of feels like it's very old and it's kind of falling apart. But it is like a journal, and then if you open up the front cover, it says the Journal of Walter Corbett. But you don't necessarily have time to read it, as you hear a very quick shuffling behind you.
I will spin around with torch and gun in hand.
You'll notice
No.
You'll notice that this towering, horrible body that was laying on the floor just a second ago is, like, just leaning over and looking at what Stanley directly in his face. And its eyes are glowing into his eyes.
I will try to take a shot.
Okay. Go ahead and make a ranged gun attack.
Ooh, that's not...
Firearms, that's what it's called.
Yep. I have a
the
firearm. I would have been better off hitting it with my shovel, but alright. Actually, not bad. Do you need to beat it or tie it?
I need to, well, actually, you caught him off guard, so I'm gonna say you just hit him. Okay. So what's your damage?
I don't even know. I rolled exact... No, I mean, what I was asking is, do I need to roll, like, I have a 20, I roll... That works?
Wait, I'm sorry, one more time?
I didn't roll under my number, I hit my number.
You're
Does
fine.
that count?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you know what damage you do?
Yeah. Oh, that's 9.
9 damage? Nice.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Actually, wait, hold on. Give me a second.
Do it.
One freaking second. Let's find it. Of course, I can't find it now. Nope. Okay, we're good.
Okay. The thing takes a chunk, and like part of this thing's dead body just goes like you shoot it like kind of in like the chest area, and just part of it just chunks off. But it breaks eye contact with Stanley at that point. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. It breaks eye contact with Stanley at that point, and Stanley kind of looks like he just wakes up suddenly, like what the hell? But it turns and it makes eye contact with you. And then suddenly you're not in that room anymore. You like it turns at you, and then almost as if the second it makes eye contact with you, you're just in this room with your grandmother, but your grandmother is huge and terrifying looking, and kind of again looks like a weird puppet thing, and it's coming at you, and it says, "Oh, little Harry, I never liked you, you little shit. I always thought you were the worst, like the worst nephew I've ever had." And like starts just saying all these really terrible things about you as like a person and stuff, which hurts emotionally.
See, now you're not even trying to do the voice. At least the last puppet tried.
So, roll a sanity damage, or roll a sanity check.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, you're fine. Yeah, and you take 0 from it because you've been drinking, and like you were turned on to the fact that something spooky was happening for a while, whereas Stanley was denying it. So you're a little bit more. Actually, make an intelligence check really quick.
Ooh, that's my jam. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, you realize that something is off here, and you now have the free ability to kind of do something to your grandmother.
I will take the shovel, put the gun away, pull out a shovel, and just try to smack her in the face.
All right. This one I can roll to dodge.
Under. 32.
Ooh, I failed. So she takes a shovel to the face. How much damage does that do again? I said it was like 1d8.
1d8, you said.
Yeah, do a d8.
And I got an 8.
Nice.
That's rolling good for damage.
Ooh.
I haven't spotted anything hidden, but I rolled good for damage.
Yeah.
So your grandmother's face just like all the meat and stuff just flies off of it as you hit it with the shovel, and now it's just like the skull of your grandmother, and its eyes are still in the sockets, and it's getting closer, but you wake up, and now suddenly you're sitting in this room with this horrible monster towering over you, and its face is just gone, but its eyes are still there. It looks just like how your grandmother did a second ago, but now it's the rest of it looks like the body that was like getting up in the basement. And suddenly, something shiny shoots in from the other room, and it starts swirling around the body. So now we're going to do a dexterity thing where we roll for initiative, because now you are going up against Mr. Walter Corbett and his magical knife.
Should have done something to that knife, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, he's got... Okay. What is everybody's things again?
It's just what your dex is, right? 50?
Yeah.
40.
40? What
50.
was yours? 50? Okay. So, and then he's got a 35. Okay, so he goes last again. So I guess Harrison goes first, which would make sense because Stanley's still kind of snapping out of it. So this thing is kind of like floating around. The magical knife is kind of floating in the air around Mr. Corbett, but it's not floating in such a way that it's hard to see anymore because this room has a little bit more light because there's like kind of... I forgot to mention it. There's like lit candles around this room. So it's a little bit easier to see things.
I'm just going to try to shovel them again.
Alrighty. I'll roll again. Okay, what'd you get?
About 40 even.
Okay, so you managed to shovel him in the face again, and he just goes... and a little bit more blood comes out of it, but he unfortunately has no more skin to shed on his face, so more of his meat does not go flying off, just blood. How much damage do you do?
6.
6. Okay, cool. And then he growls and like turns at you again. His eye contact thing doesn't seem to be working though. You seem to have blocked that from him being able to do that to you. Stanley, what do? You right, suddenly wake up. The vision of Barbara and all that stuff is gone. But now you're standing there, and what you see is this horrible, like 6-foot-tall monster just kind of towering over Stanley, trying to stare him down, with a knife floating around his head.
Damn squatters! And I'm gonna position myself with my shotgun, so when I use it, I'm not firing it like through him to Stanley, but like at the side through him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Good, because I got 60 on these.
And I'll roll. Actually, you caught him off guard, so yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, 48 anyway, so I'm good.
You did it? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So how much damage does that do?
That does 1d10 plus 7. Which I rolled an 8 plus 7 is 15.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So just a bunch of viscera flies off of him as like the bullets just cut through him. And then the added effect of that is that you hit the knife, manage to hit it through him. So, like the bullets tear through him and then it hits the knife in midair. The knife goes spiraling and lands behind Harrison. And it's just laying on the floor for a second. So now it is Mr. Corbett's turn. He turns towards Stanley, very pissed off that more of his body is falling apart. And he just stares at you, and then all of a sudden the knife gets up and shoots in your general direction. But it shoots towards Harrison, because it's going to get up and try to like attack him from behind with it. So Harrison, roll spot hidden.
My first spot hidden success with 37.
You've done it, now roll a dodge. Or actually, that's enough. We'll say that's enough. So what happens is, you see the knife coming out of the corner of your eye. You're kind of ready for it now that you know that's a weird magical knife. And all of your suspicions about mythos and spook things are starting to come true. So you're ready for this stuff. You see the knife in the corner of your eye, and you catch it. And so what you do is you dodge out of the way, and instead of it going into your back, it goes into Mr. Corbett's side, and it just shoots right through him. And he's just standing there, like, still as a board. His eyes are wide, like he's in pain, like he's scared. Like, Mr. Corbett's just kind of like the scarecrow at this point, and he's not moving anymore. And then all of a sudden, this, like, light kind of shows from inside of the cut where the knife hit him. The knife, you'll see, just kind of drops to the floor dead. And Mr. Corbett just kind of, like, starts to shrivel up, and then he just dusts. Like, it's just... Like, no fanfare or anything. He doesn't explode or anything. He just turns into dust like a corpse that's been dead for a very long time. And now you are left in this weird room with the body is gone, and all of a sudden the lights in the house kind of like not the actual like ceiling lights or anything like that, but like just the overall atmosphere of the house. It sounds like sound comes back to your guys' ears. And you feel like the overall light of the house is starting to lift a little bit, so it's easier to see things. And it's almost like you did something, and now the house is a house. There's nothing going on in it anymore.
Well, that knife did a great job. I'm going to do that.
So you pick up Mr. Corbett's bloody knife. But it is now... whereas before it kind of felt like it had some sort of energy coming from it, now it just feels like a knife.
Well, I think we explored your house a good amount, Stanley. Do you think that it might be a little spooky?
I don't think I want to live here no more, you know?
I mean, I wouldn't either, for sure. No.
Yeah, I mean,
just send a telegram.
That was a little weird. I don't know if there were like magnets in here. And
to your brother-in-law, just say, like tell him a hard pass.
And I just shot a puppet or something because it's all dust. I don't get it. Yeah, it's just weird.
Well, I have his diary, so perhaps I can look over it and let you know what I find.
I prefer to go get a drink.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna go read in your living room.
Yeah, this is my living room. I'm getting. Yeah, I'm ashamed. You're in this. No, something about respect. Yeah,
let's head back to the sip.
My brother-in-law. I don't think.
So we fade to black.
You know?
Oh wait, no. What were you saying? I thought you were just making a joke about how we should fade to black. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so...
No, I was going to say my brother-in-law... I don't think my brother-in-law doesn't like me. I mean, he comes at me. Yes. Oh no, I gotta talk to that guy.
Alrighty. So on that note, you leave Corbett House. As you walk outside, you'll notice that before there was a mention of like how it felt like it was being just stuck in these shadows between these two buildings. Now it just kind of seems like an empty house. Like, there doesn't seem to be anything menacing about it. Even all the things that were shut and made it seem dark and hiding on the inside are just... It's just an open, empty house. You can see into all the windows. You can see the empty rooms inside. And just a house that was abandoned long ago is just sitting here as a skeleton. And you make your way to the Gentleman's Sip, which is opening now because it's late enough. You've been in there for quite some time. The sun went down. You probably patch yourself up as the first thing you do with just random rags you find in Betsy.
An old Betsy, yeah.
An old Betsy. So you make your way back to the Gentleman's Sip, and you have yourself a Gentleman's Sip. Is there anything you would like to do really quick, or I can do some epilogue stuff?
No, you have a lot of stuff. I'm good.
Okay. Time goes by. Stanley sends a or do you want to do your own epilogues? Don't do Mythos stuff. I'll add that in.
I'll sure read the journal. See what it contains.
So what you glean from the journal, and unfortunately, I was trying to get somebody actually made the journal, and I wanted to print it out and send it to you guys, but unfortunately, I couldn't find the download file for it. So I'll send it later to give more depth to this. But essentially, what it was is you figure out that Mr. Corbett was in league with this strange church called the Church of Contemplation. He had read somewhere that he could live forever if he did this one neat trick, where essentially he would he did some rituals and he would bury himself inside of his house, and then he would kind of become this siphon of this house. Like, as long as he managed to stay buried and feed on people inside of this house that was that had this ritual put on it, he would turn into basically a sorcerer. Like, it would give him untold powers, and he would just... so what you ended up gleaming from that is you caught a guy mid-cocoon of turning into a giant sorcerer monster thing that could live forever. But yeah, and things that you'll also notice occasionally if you drive past the Church of Contemplation is that sign... that was painted on the walls seems fresh every single time you drive past it, which is weird. But the house seems to just get older and older as you drive past it. Whatever magic was keeping it ill is gone now. And then, is there anything other that you would like to do epilogue-wise? I have more stuff, but I can... let's see what you guys want to do.
I'll send a letter to my gran, just saying, hope you're well, little Harry.
Oh, it's adorable.
Yep, I'll send one to my brother-in-law and be like, hey, listen here, asshole, alright? I don't know where you got that place from, but let me teach you a little bit about respect, alright?
You write like a book. So essentially what happens with those letters is Harrison receives a letter back that's very heartwarming from his Gram, who is definitely still alive and well, and is, she writes a much longer letter that just catches Harry up on everything that's been going on in her life. And she seems to be having a fine time with the rest of his family. And Harry feels pretty great to know that his family is doing fine. He's been a little neglectful to keep up with them, so it's nice to hear back from them, especially after seeing visions in such a terrible way of what may have scared you into thinking your grandmother might be dead. But it's nice seeing that. On the other hand, Stanley receives a letter back from his ex-brother, or his ex-brother-in-law that says, what the hell? I'd never sent you any letter. Stop talking to me and Barbara. And that's it.
Stan then, the next night he goes to sleep, he remembers that horrible nightmare about the dinner and the kids being there and Barbara being all wormy and squirrely, and even though it was uncomfortable, he missed it because it was everything he wanted to be able to sit at dinner with his kids and his own demons to be gone. So he drives old Betsy up to the house where they're living and parks across the street and watches through the window as they have dinner together, and and they talk, and the kid starts to play, and puts his hand on the door handle, and puts his hand on his car seat, and finds the decanter that he found from the old house, and looks in the house, looks at the decanter, picks up the decanter, drinks from it, and then drives off.
Aw. Alrighty. So, a month goes by. Or 2 months go by, because a lot happened in that time, and also letters take a while to go back and forth. But, like, you just... Stanley still frequents the bar, because not only does he work there, but he, you and Stanley and Harrison are now, kind of buddies, because they've survived something weird and traumatic. Yeah. A bond has been formed between you two, but you both have frequent nightmares about the things that you saw, and not only that, but you just can't shake the things that you saw there. Like, that stuff just sits with you. It doesn't. There's no way that you could see supernatural stuff so definitely and not have it affect you in some way. So you both start thinking. You get to thinking, and you try to see if there's anybody else out there that had a situation like this, and you come to a conclusion. You find a paper, you find a weird listing in some random newspaper, Boston Globe, or no, it's the Arkan Times, because that's a tabloid, whatever, and it has an address on it, and you're like, maybe it's a support group for stuff like this, and you find yourself walking up to a door that reads, Mythos Mystery Society, no case too strange, and you open the door. And that is The Haunting.
Nice. Nice.
I hope everyone enjoyed that. We led into something we did in something else, but that's we'll figure out more about it.
Everybody, man, it's gonna be a full lobby.
Yeah.
Mystery Society, a full lobby.
Yeah. Basically, the way I kind of view it is sometimes these one shots are like origin stories for some of the investigators that are there. So I figured that'd be a fun way to include them and stuff. But yeah, that is The Haunting. It didn't take very long. It only took like maybe 3 hours or something, 4 hours.
Yeah, I think I can edit it down to like there was some stuff I can edit out.
Oh, there's a couple of times when I had to like look through the book and stuff. You could totally cut
and breaks and stuff. Yeah,
we took a break. Yeah.
That all said, we did take a break. That all said, this is the Mythos Mystery Society signing off.
Sponsored by Schmuckies.
Sponsored by Schmuckies. Schmuckies, it's freaking great! Make
really
sure you get your Schmuckies today. Schmuckies, on sale for 25 cents. Okay, and we're signing off.
Schmuckies, just really schmuck up your day.
Yeah, Schmucky. Yeah,
Schmucking
you might as well
good.
have it. You're a schmuck anyway.
You're Schmucky.
Schmucky. Made for schmucks just like you. Schmucky.